And he was just like, okay. And he closed the door and just peed himself.
Trekking heavier, traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.
Hey everybody, my name is Zoltan Kaszas. This is my podcast, This Week in Zoltan. That's probably not in the shot, but I pointed to it. And this is the second time I've done this podcast with a guest. And this week's guest is a guy I've known, I just realized, for 10 years now.
Wow.
Marked it this year for 10 years.
Who are you?
I know. It's my buddy, very funny. He has a great special on YouTube called Graham K Live at a Bowling Alley.
Yeah.
And go watch that. He was grumbling about the views. Ladies and gentlemen, Graham K.
Yeah. Which camera? Which? This one do I look in?
Look in.
Boy. Here.
I try to look into all of them.
Yeah.
And then
You're
just to,
they're constantly getting you off guard.
yeah, just to make sure none of these can end up in an Instagram clip that we all desperately need.
Yeah.
Dude, so we laughed about this on the way up because I watched you. I was on the phone with Mike and I was waiting for you outside, and then I saw you coming. I'm like, oh, there's Graham. So I just waved at you. You didn't see me.
I didn't have any earphones in.
No,
Nothing. Not on the phone.
But I could tell the look on your face because it's a look that I've had on my face many times. It's the internal argument.
Yeah.
And you told me in the lobby you were just mad about the numbers on your special.
Yeah. I think the algorithm buried me. I wasn't going to tell you. And then I was like, this is hilarious.
But that's honest.
It's so funny. Like,
Dude,
so
it's
pathetic.
We're all that way.
Yeah.
Because this is what I wanted to ask you next, and then everything else fell off, so why not do it on the air? What number do you want?
All I wanted is this. Okay, so basically all of my friends and all of the people I feel who have the same credits as me, they get about 50 to 100,000 basically. You've had a couple that have like 500,000, 1 million, and which is congrats. You really well deserved. You should get that, and you put the effort in. You anyway, but. All I wanted was 30K. It's so pathetic.
What are you at?
22.
We're almost there.
Oh my God.
You know what?
30 is sad though. And I'm below sad.
But we're going to get you to sad. We're going to get you off suicidal, up to sad. Especially after this episode comes out, we're going to get you up to maybe 22 and 100.
Basically, half of my views are from I did one podcast appearance. I did Are You Garbage?
Yeah.
And it's all people going like, this should have more views.
Yes.
I like this. This should have more views. Wow. And I'm like, I think so too.
That's, by the way, people will say that, like, people after a show, I'm sure you get this a lot. You should be more famous. You should be bigger. And you're like, I don't think that's a compliment. Yeah. It's almost like an indictment on me, like I'm not doing enough to get there.
Here's the thing, is growing up, I always like underground hip hop. I like underground like punk rock music, and then I became an artist and I want to be famous.
You want to be MC Hammer.
And I am what I like. But I'm not trying to be underground.
Right.
I'm trying to sell out.
I'm begging to sell out.
I am an underground comedian, and that's fine. That's what I am. I'm not mainstream, dog. I can't help it.
Nobody's happy was the point I was trying to get to in the conversation we had in the elevator. Because I was listening to Kyle Kinane's on Mark Maron this week, and I was listening to that on the train right up here, and he's miserable. Mark does it. He's not miserable. I shouldn't say miserable.
He shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be, but he kind of looks at his career in a way that like someone like me looking at him go, oh man, he should be so pumped and be like all this and that. But I think no matter what level you're at, you're always like, I should be up there. And Maron kind of saying similar things like, oh, I should be there.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
It's important to go back for me to go to the scenes I started out in and be like, and they're like, they kind of look at you like that, and then I'm like, oh yeah, because my life is good. I like truly, you were like, how are you doing when we were in the elevator? I was like, great. My life is great.
That's what we want to hear.
My life is great. And it's just, but you can find the thing that annoys you. I bought a car. I go on vacations. I live alone in a nice big apartment in New York City. It's all from jokes. Like, what am I complaining about?
You're doing
all
great.
I wanted when I started comedy was to get 30. No, I'm kidding. No, all I wanted when I started comedy was not to be Seinfeld in real life, but to be Seinfeld in the show Seinfeld.
Right, where he's not super famous.
No.
Yeah.
He's a working comic. He's on late night TV. He has a cool apartment. He's got a fun group of friends. He has a car. He does what he loves for a living. And then every week a new model has sex with him. So I just need. I'm that one little part short, but other than that, I got. I have that. I've got it all. So
in the 10 years I've known you, that is exactly how I would label you. Modest.
Yes.
He's like, listen, I just want a successful middle of the road career.
Yeah.
And models every week, a different model.
Yes.
They'll somehow break up with you, and you'll be aloof to it, like yeah.
And
wow.
they're still attracted to my whatever middle of the road career. They still want to fuck me.
That just means you're a handsome boy.
Because
Dude, you're a handsome fella.
You're a handsome fella.
Well,
His hair. Jeez, hair.
It's poofing. I got to get a haircut.
My sides are falling out.
Hey, that's just, we age, and by we, I mean men, we age good. Like, if we put up a picture of me from high school, you're like, good Lord, what?
Yeah.
Wow, really? And so sometimes...
Like it was worse?
It was bad.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, acne and fat and sweaty, moist, always.
You grew up poor, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that had to do with...
poor face. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, all these saturated fats, a lot of stress.
Yes, to all of that, but I never encapsulated my face to my economic status. But you're right. That was a lot of TV dinners, and then they all come out of your pores.
Sure.
There's a Salisbury steak.
Stress.
Yeah, a lot of stress.
Didn't you have like dad stuff?
Yeah. I was
that weighs on you.
So I didn't know it was, but I was angry for no reason. And now I know why I was angry. And then that all shows on your face. Kind of like the way you were walking in. That was me in high school.
Sure.
Just sweaty.
It's not fair for a kid.
Yeah, smelling like onions. But the a lot of onions my mom cooked at the house. But yeah, I guess my point is you're doing great. And
I'm doing great. Thanks. Yeah.
The special is really funny.
I spent a lot of money on it. I self-produced it. I got people from HBO to direct it and film it and do the sound.
Whoa!
And it's great. And I got the guy who edited it does like all like famous comedians like Jason Katz. He does like all their editing. So it's I think the joke's really good. It looks really great. I'm really proud of it.
You should be.
I'm proud of it.
The material's killer and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I did make a mistake where I think that I got in my head about like, how do I hook people? How do I get the kids in? And there was a comic who's like really good with the algorithm, and he did like a TikTok, Instagram reel clip in the beginning.
Yes.
With like Instagram reel or TikTok-y kind of like text.
Yeah.
In the beginning of his special, and picked like a hooky part and put it in the beginning to hook people.
Right.
And then they continue to watch it. And so I did that, but I made it a dirty joke because I thought it would hook people. But my special is not really dirty. It has like 2 dirty jokes, but I picked the dirtiest moment, put it at top. And
Finger in the butt on the date. Yeah, on your COVID date.
And I just think people go like, what the hell? And they turn it off. Because a lot of my fans are clean comedy fans.
Because you opened for Nate Bargatze.
I opened for Nate, and I have 2 clean specials, 2 clean albums on Sirius XM radio. So I get a lot of views from that, a lot of followers from that. I have this like clean comedy brand, and I'm like, watch my special. I got fingered in the ass, and people are like, ah, good Lord. They're like watching it with their kids. People tell me, I go. Yeah, Nate gets messages
from people about you
about how dirty my special is
because of that one joke. Because the rest of it's pretty
clean.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
but you know what? Like, all right, maybe you shouldn't have opened with that or like put that little TikTok-y clip in the beginning. But I still think that joke is clean. Like, even though you're talking about sex stuff and a finger's going in a butt.
If I talked about a proctologist,
exactly,
it would be clean.
Exactly. Yeah. But because she wasn't a doctor,
and she was not a doctor,
and she was, and she wasn't wearing gloves, and she was in your bedroom for some reason, or at the park or wherever this took place. Bedroom. And
I'm too old to be convicted of sex crimes. I'm on a green card, for God's sakes. I can't be convicted of sex crimes.
The best reason to be evicted from the country is. He got fingered at the park. But
my friend, he pissed himself in his jeans in his car. He had to go so bad, and he was like, I'll just go outside in between these two cars, and he pulled over. And he just randomly pulled out in front of a preschool, and all these kids came out, and they're like holding a rope, with the lady.
Yeah.
And he was just like, okay, and he closed the door and just peed himself. He didn't want to be a sex criminal.
That's the lamest one too, especially if you go to jail, because like prisoners hate the sex criminals.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, would they give you the opportunity to explain it was urination and not I had sex with a bunch of kids on a rope?
Yeah, there's I don't think there's a gray zone.
No,
I don't think they don't want a leeway in prison.
They don't. They wanted a reason to shank you, and they got the reason.
Yep.
but go watch his special.
Thanks.
And that's so funny that they give me. I was trying to watch this with my kids. I made that mistake years ago. I have a younger brother, and when he was in elementary school, I was at home for the holidays or something, and my mom, we were like, let's watch a movie. And we all love Robin Williams, and I thought I put on The World's Greatest Dad, which I thought was the movie RV, where he drives around in a big RV and crashes into things.
Yeah.
No, that movie's called RV. The movie I put on starts with his son, whose auto asphyxiation, he's like masturbating while hanging himself.
Yeah.
Accidentally kills himself. And then he ends up, like Robin Williams, who's an English teacher and an aspiring writer, ends up writing a really nice suicide note so that his death wouldn't be as embarrassing. And then he ends up like, it becomes famous. Like people are like, oh my God, this guy's writing is amazing. So he keeps writing as his dead son's like pseudonym, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a great movie. Not one to watch with
What's it called?
World's Greatest Dad. Great movie. But it opens with that, like, very early is that hanging masturbation scene, and I'm just there with my Hungarian mother and my, at the time, maybe 9-year-old brother. Yeah. And I just remember my mom going, "Where's the RV?"
whoa! He's pleasuring himself and crashing into stuff.
Yeah.
It's how I get off. Then you start watching Crash.
But I guess I just imagined like families sitting down to watch the Graham K special, and they're like, well, all right, maybe mom and dad will just watch this without you guys.
My dad, when I was a kid, I was maybe 12, and my grandpa had died fairly recently, and so we would go visit my grandma, so she wasn't lonely, and we would go to Blockbuster, and then he was like, Sean Connery's never made a bad movie. And then there was like a 4-minute sex scene in it, and it was just me, my grandma, and my dad. And we all hated it, and everyone was too embarrassed to leave, or like
you're stuck,
too waspy to say anything. So we just
he just took it.
Yeah.
Getting in that situation is like making eye contact with the person on the train.
Totally.
That you didn't mean to make eye contact with. Now you can't break that eye contact.
Well, yes, you can.
I can't.
You keep looking?
I keep looking until they look away.
Wow.
Wait, am I doing it wrong?
Yes. They think you're going to kill them. And you have those kind of eyes where...
I do have murderous eyes.
Look at me. Ah!
I do have those...
Look at the camera.
Yeah. I should break away. Mm-hmm. But that scene that you having that thing with your grandma, I had that with, the comedian Lavelle Crawford.
Yeah, black dude, right?
Yeah, I had that with his elderly mother in the green room of a club in Seattle. 2015, I think I featured for him, and she's a very lovely lady. She was hanging out at all the shows in the green room, and it was the weekend where the Whitney Houston movie came out on Lifetime. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, it trended. It was a very popular TV movie, but there's a very long, gratuitous sex scene in a Lifetime movie. I grew up watching Lifetime movies with the single mom. That's how I grew up, and I was like, this will be fine. Long, gratuitous sex scene, and it's just me and Lavelle's elderly mother in a smaller than this room, and I'm just stuck. I can't leave, and then Bobby Brown's head disappears off camera, going down on old Whitney Houston, and I couldn't help it. I look over at Lavelle's Crawford's mother, and she doesn't break eye contact with the screen, and she just goes, and I ended up dropping my phone like on the table and making a loud ruckus. And
you just out of nervousness?
Out of nervousness. I was just so uncomfortable, and I couldn't say anything. She didn't say anything, but she wasn't uncomfortable. And the next show, The Late Show, they played the movie again, and she was watching it again. And so
she liked it.
She loved it. And I waited out. I'm like, I'm not going in the green room. I'm hanging out.
They were just playing it in the green room?
Yeah, they had a TV in the green room. Do you remember Parlor Live? It's not there anymore.
Yeah, I think so.
It was like in Bellevue. It was a fancy club. It was the A Club in Seattle.
Yeah.
I guess they still don't have
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
it was that place. And I was featuring for Lavelle. And it was it's uncomfortable for everybody. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're uncomfortable.
No, I'm just. I have anxiety, and I was outside in the smog a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
in in New York, and I always feel now that I don't know if I can't control my breathing or if I'm short of breath.
Oh, yeah, because you have a little bit of the hypochondria.
Yeah. I once thought I had bed bugs and threw out all my furniture and all my books and all my pictures, and it turns out I just had dry skin.
I listened to that. I listened to you talk to Sean on his podcast about that, and I relate to that. I once had the same thing, except I had hives.
Oh, wow.
I had never had hives in my life. I had just come back from being on the road, took a shower, came out. I had all these itchy red bumps down my side, and I'm like, it's happened. Bed bugs. And tore my house apart. Threw everything away. Next morning, I called every exterminator. He comes over, and he's like, I don't see any bed bugs. I don't see any evidence of bed bugs. Why do you think you have bed bugs? And I pulled up my shirt, and I'm like, I got these bites, and they were gone. And
they were gone?
Yeah, the hives go away after like 30 minutes or something. Like, they go away. But I didn't check again. I just went on a rampage, and he doesn't see anything. And I look at him, and I go, I think I had hives. Yeah, I'm like, did you think I had hives? And he's like, I don't know. And he was so embarrassed for me that he ended up not charging me anything.
Oh,
he's like, I'm just going to go. And I was like, okay, yeah. Hives.
Dude, I've had the two exterminators that I had similar experiences with were both like, they're nice guys. They gave me like 10 minutes on the phone and talked me off a cliff and didn't charge. I just went on Google and was like, these guys are great.
So they didn't come to the house. They were able to talk you down over the phone.
Yeah,
and go, I don't think you have.
I think they just get a lot of neurotic lunatics.
Yeah, because that's the scariest thing. As much as we travel, man, bed bugs. I'd rather,
Do you have a system when you go to a hotel? I do.
You taught me my system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, years ago when we met, you're like, this is how you check for bed bugs. And I'm going to tell you what you told me. You can correct me if I'm missing anything. You go, leave all your stuff by the door or up high.
Or in the bathtub.
Oh, the bathtub. Okay, that's a new one. I don't remember that one. And then you go and you look on the nightstand for what looks like pepper, which is like bed bug poop. And then you strip
like poppy seeds.
Yeah, like poppy seeds. Yeah. And then you pull the sheets back and then you look in the what's that? The stitching of the mattress.
Yeah, the piping. Yeah.
Yeah, the piping
on all four corners.
All four corners. Yeah, I do that to this day. Yeah, and I luckily have not gotten into any bed bugs.
Yeah, you use your cell phone
light. Yeah. Light. Yeah. That's all thanks to you, bud. You've taught me a lot.
I watched an exterminator 10-minute YouTube video. Yeah.
I had to rebuy so many things. I rebought the things. I was living alone at the time, And the next day, I had to rebuy all the things I bought on Amazon. I had to go through my ordered list and just reorder. Oh, that tapestry you ripped off the wall. Oh, your pillowcases. Oh, your pillows. Everything I bought on Amazon, I just hit reorder.
You don't have to throw out that stuff. Anything that can go through a dryer for an hour, an industrial dryer for an hour, which means like a washing, what do you call it? Laundromat.
Yeah. But it was in the middle of the night and we had a laundromat outside, so I threw all my stuff in there, clothes-wise. But like my mattress, I was like ready to drag that thing out, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was watching a video on my TV, a YouTube video about bed bugs, and they actually said while I'm dragging it out, they're like, don't throw your mattress out because bugs could be in the walls and they'll just infect the new mattress. And I was like, so just burn the place down? Like, what are you supposed to do?
You should throw. Anyway, we don't talk about this anymore. I'm starting to itch.
No, I'm so sorry. No one has it. Everyone's fine. And your lungs are also okay.
You think?
Yes.
I also went to a bachelor party and we stayed in we hung out for like 5 days and like half the people got COVID. So I have COVID right now. No, I'm kidding. And anyway, I got tested and like a bunch, and it was over a week ago, like a week and a half ago, and I don't have COVID, but I think I might have had COVID.
Right.
And I'm like, do I have long COVID and my lungs are fucked? You know what I mean?
It could just, be pollution, like general pollution getting into your lungs.
Maybe.
Do you work out a lot?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like if you go for a run, like I kind of noticed it ever since it got humid.
Yeah.
Like I can't run as well as I used to. I run Prospect Park, which is like a little over 3 miles. And the last time I ran it, I got like halfway in and I had to stop.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, what's going on with
the air in there should be better than the city.
It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I was all worried about myself. I'm like, I need to run more. Maybe I'm twice a week isn't enough, but that's so weird. And then I read an article in the Times that said how much humidity kicks your ass because you can't sweat, your body can't cool down. So you have to cut your workouts back by half. So if you normally run 6 miles, you should run 3.
Wow.
So I guess since I run 3, it's funny that I crapped out at 1.5 miles.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so my body knew. So it could just be weather related.
And also, I think the pollution this summer is worse than before because of the wildfires. Yeah.
Those Canadian wildfires coming over the border.
Sorry. I'm Canadian.
My wife, well, everybody was really upset about that. But growing up in San Diego, I'm used to the smoke. Yeah, wildfires. The city gets really smoky. I don't know if I ever handled smoke like that. But it was like, I'm like, it's not going to kill us. We just don't go outside. And this should clear.
I went outside.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. It was my birthday. And I regret it. I'm the worst kind of combination of hypochondriac and risk taker. So I'm constantly stressed. I'll try this cocaine. No!
Did you get the test strips?
For cocaine?
Yeah.
I have them in my apartment. I don't do a lot of cocaine. I do cocaine like New Year's, kind of thing.
Yeah, celebratory.
Yeah, but
summer solstice.
Too old for that shit.
Yeah.
Even that.
We went to I was at a bachelor party 2 weeks ago, and my buddy who loves this stuff, I don't partake, but he loved the stuff. He bought the test strips off Amazon, but he didn't know how to use them, so there's a mound of cocaine, and he just threw the stick in there. And then we stood there for a while, and we're like, well, what's supposed to happen? He goes, I don't know. And I'm like, you don't have the instructions? Like, what did you, like, are you waiting for it to explode? Like, what's the game plan?
Should be some drops in a little petri dish.
He had none of that. He just had what looked like little twist ties, and he threw one in there. And we're like, okay. And then one of the people was like, I'll be the guinea pig. And I was like, what a hero.
Yeah. I'm never the guinea pig. I'll be the second guy, though.
Nothing wrong with being the second guy.
Anyway.
I just realized between you, me, and Dave Merhej, we've known each other for 10 years.
I'm trying to remember.
The Seattle Comedy
Competition, of course, if I just thought about it for one more second. Yeah, that was 2013.
2013.
That is one of the reasons why I'm in America, why Dave's in America, because we both made the finals.
And that was enough to get your green card.
It was enough to be it was 10, you need like 10 or 15 check marks to get a performing arts visa, which enabled me to get the green card. And that was one of the 10 things, was to get the finals in a major competition.
Badass.
And you and I had a battle royale. So the Seattle comedy competition, it's like 100 people in the beginning or something like that.
I think. Well, I don't think it was that much. I think it was like 36 or 38.
300, 400 people.
5,000 people to start with.
I think it was more than 36. Was it 36?
I think it was in the 30s.
Okay.
Because in first round we had like 15 of us going up every night.
Yeah.
And the first
but
round
there's two sections.
There's
2 sections.
So I think it was like 30 something.
Okay, so there's 30 people, and then it's a month-long competition. They don't put you up, but you're kind of betting on yourself that you will make the finals and win some money to compensate for the money you've spent the entire time
in Seattle. Yeah,
and you have to finish top 3 for that to happen, and top 5 for that to happen. And you and I you finished first.
Yeah,
I finished second. And we did it. We made it to the finals, and it was the You edged me out. You just edged me.
It all shows what luck goes into it, because I had the best spots for the week. Remember how we used to? No. Because I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Remember we used to draw cards for spots.
Yeah.
And then everyone had to go first and last, so they did their best to make it fair. But I couldn't have drawn better spots. My first 3 nights, I went on third. So I went
the best in comedy. Third or fourth. If there's 6 people going on or 5 people going on, you usually say you want to be third or fourth, because they're warmed up and they're not tired.
And so on those theater shows, they would always run an intermission after third.
Yeah.
So the last 2 guys, the fourth guy had to kind of restart it, and maybe even fifth was a better spot. So I got really lucky with the spots. But honestly, after that part, like once it got into that part of the competition, we were all just so tired and ready to go home.
Yeah.
Like I remember everyone was sad. Like no one was in a good mood.
Well, you and Dave were sleeping there. They made friends like the first week, and they were like sleeping on someone's floor.
Monica Nevi. We slept on Monica Nevi's floor.
Oh, what a hero!
Yeah, and we had to cuddle because like she had a fireplace, and this cold air would just blow through a fire. I didn't know that about fireplaces, but if it's in the winter, cold air will just blow through like a wind tunnel.
You need fire.
But
if it's internal heating and you don't turn on the fireplace,
it was brutal. So it's just cold air blowing on our heads, and slowly Dave and I just like cuddling like 2 cowboys in the woods trying to survive. And
God, that's exhausting.
You end up building friendships just because every night's stressful. And then you're going through all the at-home troubles of not being home and
trying to keep this relationship going.
And everyone's doing that. Everyone's struggling with that. And then you're also trying to win. Yeah. No, we all were.
I just started seeing someone where this could be a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Like once every, like for me, it's like once every like 5 years I meet somebody where I'm like, and it was like, oh, there's somebody. And I was like, I gotta go for a month. Bye. And I was like trying to, but then I also met somebody out there that, and I was like trying to,
do both?
Yeah.
And that's hard.
It's
That's hard. Dude, I mean, winning a competition, living in a city you don't live in, already hard, but then trying to maintain a relationship while trying to kindle another one.
While trying to get laid.
is You were really going for it.
We were in a gray zone. So I felt I knew that it was like the last person I could hook up with, probably for a while,
right?
Maybe forever if we got married. So I was like, to me, it was like, this is like my last.
That was
maybe time I'll ever get laid outside this other person forever.
Man,
and then she ended up finding out in the end, and it was,
didn't work out good. Yeah, well, you had a lot riding on that month then. Not just competition and trying to get into the country.
Yeah.
It was like life, relationship, everything.
Everything. And you beat me fair and square. You had great sets. You had, it's not like, I don't think I ever got like a bad, I pulled like a bad, I think it maybe what, I don't know. Anyway, but I always was like, I should have, in my head, I was like, I should go into the coffee shop all night and think about my jokes or something. I don't know. It's like, I'm not going to do new jokes.
No,
but at the time I was like, I messed up. My one weakness ladies. What?
It's your
Like
kryptonite.
one weakness.
We have a million weaknesses, but that was the one.
I'm all weaknesses.
Dude, I talk myself out of more things than I end up ever doing. That's actually why I moved to New York, because the city terrifies me. And I'm like, it's time, you're 36, time to stop being afraid of things. Go to the things that scare you.
Yeah.
So I'm, all you can do is try.
You're gonna crush this city. You're moving with someone you're in love with.
Yeah.
I believe you're married.
Yeah.
And so she's in. She can't leave.
No, yeah. She's contractually obligated to love me.
You picked a good neighborhood. A lot of people, they move and they're like,
yeah.
Oh, we wanted some space, so we live on Mars. And you're like, what? Or they're like, we want it to be in the action, so we live above the Applebee's in Times Square and we pay $8 billion. And then they're like, New York's too stressful.
Yeah.
And you're like, well.
I couldn't live up here. Like
no.
We picked a neighborhood that felt like San Diego.
Yeah.
With still feeling like a city, because it's still way busier than any neighborhood in San Diego.
Yeah.
But it's like when
you can walk to restaurants and you can walk to a forest.
Yes. Yeah. You can walk to that beautiful park. You can walk to a restaurant. It's pretty safe. Yeah. Everyone's friendly.
It's very safe.
It's like postcardy town. It's we couldn't have gone
postcardy.
Post like a town you see on a postcard.
Oh, postcard. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I thought you were trying to say post party, like older.
That too.
I was like,
there's a lot of old parents.
Did you have an aneurysm? Postcardy.
That would be a way to go.
Yeah.
But I live amongst a bunch of old parents. So where when people find out that Emma and I live there, they're like, "Do you have kids?" I'm like, "No." "Do you guys think about having kids?" I'm like, "Kinda." And they're like, all right. And so they're kind of surprised that we're there, but at the same time, once they really get to know us, they're like, oh, they like to be in bed pretty early. So they fit this town.
Sure. Yeah. Perfect for you. Perfect. I wanted to live there, and I was like, I'm the right age to live there, but I still like doing cocaine once a year. I was like, I don't belong here. So I found the right neighborhood. Everyone's about 33 to 43. Everyone's like a retired hipster. We do cocaine once a year. Our old cocaine days are behind us. We don't have a dealer anymore.
Is it a monumental day? Like,
What?
do you guys have it planned out? Like, oh, New Year's Eve we're doing cocaine, or is it one of those?
No, I don't have it planned out. I never think about it, but if it happens, I get excited. I'm like, yes, we're back. Yeah, and I
It's kind of like a retired athlete joining like an over 40 league.
No, dude.
Yeah. And they're like,
this is my big three. I'm out in Houston, and the big three I can still fucking.
He still has a pretty jumper.
Dude, he's got a great jumper.
He had the best jumper in the league.
Yeah. He still looks like he's in great shape. His head is gray.
That just means like he knows more stuff.
That's right.
So what part of Brooklyn do you live in?
I live in East Williamsburg. So
East Williamsburg,
I don't live in proper Williamsburg because that is full of yuppies now. Mm-hmm. So all of us, we got pushed out
to East
Williamsburg. And then the next neighborhood further east is Bushwick, which is like full of 23-year-olds in lofts doing cocaine every weekend.
This town seems to be a lot of cocaine. Or is that just the world nowadays?
I think it's the world nowadays. I think it's way less than it was prior to the pandemic.
Okay.
And the fentanyl thing.
Yeah, thank you, fentanyl. Yeah, that scared a lot of people off the powder.
Yeah. I was already past it by that point.
Right.
But,
Help.
But anyway, like basically, it's like 20-year-olds. If you see a 20-year-old wearing little tiny sunglasses and big goofy white sneakers, they're on cocaine. They are fucking...
Graham knows how to spot them, buddy.
Loose as a goose.
It's pretty much everything I used to wear when I was in middle school, poor.
Yeah.
Just greasy face.
Yeah.
Salisbury steak coming out of the pores and big pants. Big pants.
Yeah.
Didn't skateboard. Couldn't afford it. Didn't have the athleticism. But apparently I had cocaine in the pockets. Who knew?
Oh, yeah. You just had the worst part. The come down. Your whole life was a come down.
You know what I was realizing when I was coming in today to do this with you? That you kind of have this really awesome career in the sense that you get all ranges of it. Because you work clubs, which is the dream. You live in New York, which is the other dream. And then you open for someone that does arenas.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have the full spectrum of, like,
That's true.
And I don't know, that's really a unique perspective that I think a lot of comics never get to experience.
Yeah.
You know, how many people get to be an arena act or even get to open for an arena act? What the hell is that like? Like, what's it like to go out in front of
that is true. I never thought about
19,000 people?
I never thought about that.
And then come back to Brooklyn and maybe do that place where you shot your special, which I did the Comics You Should Know show there.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
But that place probably seats like 60,
Yeah.
I don't know, 70 people.
Yeah.
And just that juggling act.
Oh, dude, I'll do a show with 10 people.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm one of the only people in the world who's done, in the same week, 12,000 people and then 10 people. It is quite a range. Yeah, I'm probably one of the only people in the world.
You're not like you're on a list of maybe a dozen people.
Yeah, who will fly to a place, not sell out a room that seats 100, and then following fly to a place and do 12,000 people, which makes me realize those people are clean comedy fans, Nate's fans, and
Right.
if you're listening to this, I don't do cocaine. Never done it in my life. No, but I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'd like to settle down.
Are you single now or
Single now? I went through. I thought I met the one. We lived together. I was looking to settle down, get some kids.
It's gonna happen,
you know, but it didn't work out. About 6 months ago, so I'm back on the prowl.
Prowl.
But
Don't say that.
I know. I got a new joke where it's like I'm not so much on the prowl at this age. I'm just more of like a house cat trying to be let back inside. It's cold out here.
I promise not to bring squirrels to the doorstep.
Yeah,
Just let me back in.
I'm done.
I'm injured.
Rub my tummy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like everything that's come along in my life, whether personal or career wise, everything's 10 years later. If that
funny.
makes
I think in life, in not just in like comedy life or it's just generally, I think as a rule in humans' life, you always get stuff 5 years after you are ready to have them. Sometimes 10.
Right.
And if you get them early, it won't work out.
I think that's so stressful.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you were an arena act, but 12, 15 years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're at Nate's level, but you're 5 years into comedy, and you're like, what?
I was thinking about that. Like, I don't think like I would. If me personally, I couldn't have handled it.
No, I definitely couldn't have.
I would not have handled it well. And definitely not in my 20s. Maybe in my early 30s, mid 30s would have been okay. But like, dude, yeah.
I don't think I can handle it now.
Yeah.
Like at the meager level that I'm at now, like sometimes I'll look at ticket sales and be like, well, we're not paying rent this month. And then Emma's like, it's going to be fine. They're going to buy tickets. Just give it a second.
And they do.
And then they do.
Yeah.
And then she's like, why do we have to go through this every weekend, every cycle?
Well,
and I go, yes.
It's very stressful. It's very stressful. I mean, it's similar to when I worked sales. I was a salesman. And it's
got to hit those quotas.
Got to hit those quotas.
Yeah.
Got to hit those marks, and you always got to stay 6 months ahead, and getting 6 months ahead of your billings. As long as you're 6 months ahead, you're okay. But then, you know, the thing is, you and I, we spent a long time not like kind of just getting by.
Right.
And for the past 5 years or so, we haven't, or however long, we haven't just eked by. We've been fine. Mm-hmm. But it takes a long time to unlearn that, like, I don't want to say trauma, but stress,
fear.
Yeah. To be like, it is going to be okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? By the way, I look up to your career. You have a self-made dude. You just stayed in San Diego and you have this whole fan base. You're so quietly prolific with this big, like a real fan base that you built up that is not quiet. If you look at the amount of stuff you put out that is really quality, it's very consistent.
Thank you.
And it's like every year there's like a real special that comes out with like a lot of like views and like it's good, and it's like, I don't know. I think that I always wanted you to move to LA or New York, so the small percentage of so they could know, right? Because the fans know, the comedy fans know,
the ones that know about me know,
the ones that know about you know. A lot of people know, but like people like, oh yeah, Zoltan, like Seller Comics or whoever comics, but now they're gonna know.
I hope.
Yeah, they will, man.
That's the plan.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's the plan. I always, first of all, thank you. That means a lot, because I always feel like an outsider in comedy, and maybe that's just a feeling of everybody in comedy, but it all feels high schoolish.
We all feel like outsiders except for 15 people, and then if you talk to them, they're like, oh, I want to have this. I mean, I know some guys that if you break it down, they are top 30 comedians in the world, or at least in America.
And they can talk themselves out of it.
And they're like, and I've heard them be like, I want this. And it's like, being a human is a nightmare. We're never, but yeah.
Social media is such a reflection of that. We were never happy because we were talking about your special views. And the point I was trying to get to with the numbers, it's never fine. If that special got to 10 million, your next one, if it got 5 million, you're going to go, what the hell was wrong with that one?
Yeah.
It's like, it's this weird...
but I don't think that's a comedy thing. I think that's...
No, that's a person thing.
That's a person
It's
thing,
a greed thing.
Yeah.
It's this idea of like, if you're not growing, you're drowning, which isn't true.
Yeah.
Like I watched, anytime like, oh, Netflix didn't grow in this quarter. It's like, are they supposed to grow every quarter?
Is that an American / capitalist thing?
I think it is.
Well, I know that Netflix specifically.
But the ideology of if you're not growing, you're dying.
That trickles down to, yeah.
Because then what are we growing to? To try to get to a level where you become so big, then people start tearing you down?
That's right.
So like, what is this?
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I was like, if I was at this level, obviously I want more because I'm a greedy human being. But if I was just at this level until they threw dirt in my face, that's a pretty good win. I just didn't want to unload trucks at a warehouse when I was doing comedy. And then I started making a living. And then I'm like, I don't want to perform on cruise ships anymore because they hurt my feelings.
Yes.
And
got now one coming up in November.
Yeah, dude, I was about to ask you that. We got a couple buddies that do cruise ships, and it's like those can be a kick to the nuts.
They are.
From people in shorts.
Yeah. I'm down to about 2 a year, which is good.
That's great.
2 weeks a year. Which I guess I don't even need to do, but it's like...
No, you don't. If you're down to 2 weeks a year, you don't need to do it.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like, well,
let's not throw away guaranteed money.
Let's not throw away guaranteed money. And I never get to go on vacation, and it's like...
It is vacation.
Yeah.
You're going to tropical islands or Alaska.
And I'm like hoping that if I can meet somebody, and even if it's like a new relationship, I'll be like, why don't you come?
Ah.
Yeah.
And you can show them some.
Well, it'd be fun to because they give you like a nice hotel room.
Yeah, they do.
And it'd be fun to did you ever bring your wife on one of those?
Never. Yeah. I never brought anyone on one of them. And the fear was I never knew what kind of room I was going to get on the ship. Because sometimes they would give you a room with a balcony and a view. And then sometimes I'd be in like the bottom deck without a porthole.
Oh, that sucks. Well, the ones I do, they always give you at least a window.
They give you at least a window?
They give you like a passenger one.
Right. Well, sometimes I worked Royal Caribbean, and most of the time they would, but I'm like, I can't risk bringing somebody, and then we're stuck in the bottom. And then I'm like,
that sucks.
Yeah. What cruise line you would Norwegian?
Royal.
You work Royal?
Yeah, I guess they said they didn't. Oh yeah, I remember them telling me they didn't like you. Yeah, it was weird. I was like, why were you telling me that? But they'd say that every time. Yeah.
Well, goddamn. All right. Name of the special, Live in a Bowling Alley on YouTube. Watch that. We're getting it up to 30, so Grammy can be sad.
I have 2 specials, and I'm not sad. I'm a happy boy.
Good.
I have 2 specials, but one, if you like the Live in the Bowling Alley one, there's another one called Stupid Jokes, which is on the Just for Laughs feed, not my YouTube feed. But yeah, I would love it if you followed me on the old Instagram, Mr. Graham K, and Graham K Comedy on YouTube. Those 2 things would, they really would help my little life and help me get a wife one day. So, and also, my brother has autism and my parents are getting old, and I'm gonna have to take care of him soon. So, if you don't follow me and watch my special, you're hurting an autistic boy.
Well, this just turned into UNICEF. I watch his special and subscribe, and that's also a show you're doing, a one-man show. My brother has autism.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So you have a lot of West Coast fans. I have a one-man show called My Brother Has Autism. I just hired a publicist. She's saying I should change the name to what? Pete and Me. My brother's name is Pete.
Okay. I like that. It's a cute name.
It's cute. But anyway, I'm doing a one-man show July 3rd, the day before July 4th.
Yeah.
Which is an easy way to remember.
Definitely.
At Dynasty Typewriter in LA. And
great theater. Great little venue.
Yeah, I believe ticket sales are low. So again, I would like you to support an autistic man, and if you don't, he might be homeless one day.
Buy these tickets. Good people of Los Angeles, go buy these tickets. It's going to be a great show. And Graham's one of the best out there, and people are going to find out.
I don't know if ticket sales are low.
You don't know that?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
But I assume. Yeah.
We're going to call this episode The Assumption of Negativity. The Assumption of Low Ticket Sales.
I will say this, though.
Yeah.
I guarantee the show will be good.
Yeah,
I will have a good time. I will have a good time, regardless of how many people are there. And you will have a good time if you come. I guarantee that. And I'm going for dinner before with my friends, and that'll be fun.
Well, he's going to have a full belly, and he's going to make you guys giggle. Go watch his show in Los Angeles. Follow him on all the socials, and watch his special on YouTube. Graham K., thank you for joining us.
Don't do cocaine.
Trekking heavier, traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I